happened, I did get hit.
Rounds 9 and 10 of the 2023 TC America Championship. We were at the beautiful Road America in Elkhart Lake. This is probably one of my favorite circuits that we visit. Road America is actually the longest track that we go to all year long. It's over 4 miles long. So new this year, the entire surface is repaved. So it created kind of some inconsistencies in the grip level. Some areas were extremely grippy offline, or places that didn't get as much sun were still very green and didn't have a lot of grip. So it kind of added a new challenge. After 8 rounds so far, we're currently sitting P2 in the championship. There is quite a big point gap to the leader, but we're not necessarily out of the race yet. We do need a pretty big miracle to happen, just because of the penalty we received at Virginia, and then our unfortunate mechanical problem in Texas really hurt us when trying to stay consistent for the championship. But every other time we finish, we've been in the top 3 up on the podium. So the pace has been there, but unfortunately, to win a championship, you really got to be there every single round. The TLDR of the weekend is that we just did not stop working on the cars, and we haven't really had a weekend that was that labor intensive in the 2 years of running. In the summer break, we did a lot of work to the cars, intercoolers, plugs, stuff like that, to try to solve our lack of top end issue. But along with that, we wanted to replace the fuel pump, because we felt the fuel pump was spinning a little bit too fast, and we just thought that maybe the car wasn't getting sufficient fuel flow to the engine just to help with overall power. So when we got there, we ended up changing the fuel pumps. We upgraded the fuel pumps, which, you're actually working in the fuel cell, the fuel tank of the car, putting in pumps where you can't see, but you can feel huffing fumes. So it's a very sort of dirty, just like kind of tough job to do in a race car. So the first day started off trying to figure that out. And then honestly, that pump worked for about 20 minutes. And then we had another fuel issue. And we thought it was something we did wrong with the installation of the pump. Found out that the brand new pump that we just put in had actually stopped working properly. So the pump that we spent all this time installing, for whatever reason, just crapped the bed. It didn't work. The next day in practice, our goal was to just sort of make sure everything worked and try to get some laps in for testing. But unfortunately, I made a driver error, and I accidentally had some contact with the wall and the kink.
How you doing?
I'm all good.
Okay.
I'm all good. Give me another car.
So we got the chase car coming to pick you up.
Okay.
And we got the rollback to come and get your car. Are you in neutral?
Yeah.
Excellent.
Should be.
I'm super thankful and grateful that the shunt wasn't any bigger, especially at such a high-speed corner like the King. It's basically a 5th gear corner at around 120 miles an hour, 115 miles an hour, and I just made a mistake that I really shouldn't at this point in my driving career and experience, but just came in a little bit too quick, tried to go in without braking, and just early in the morning, still on relatively cold tires and a low grip surface, the car just sort of wiggled on the entry. I ended up sort of saving the car, correcting it, straightening it out, but unfortunately there's just not enough room in the kink, and when I got on the grass, the wall comes up basically instantaneously. So I really just exploded the front left suspension. So control arms, tie rods, sway bar links, stuff like that. Most of the other damage ended up being cosmetic. Broken mirror, obviously scraped fenders, wheels, stuff like that. Kind of got away with a lucky one there. Unfortunately, it meant that we missed practice, and the guys actually got the car back together for practice 2, but we were unable to get the car fired up, and we were just working all day long trying to figure out why the car wouldn't fire. So working with BMW, ended up changing a VVT motor, which controls the valve timing of the engine. So we literally had to take the top half of the engine apart and install this little module. And we thought that would fix the issue, but and unfortunately it still didn't fire up. So many hours later, whole practice day went by. It ended up being a fuel line underneath the car became disconnected. A quick disconnect somehow got ripped apart, likely from the wall hit, and it was just making it so there's no fuel getting to the engine, couldn't get any spark, anything like that. So after all that, it was simply just replugging in a fuel line, but basically missed practice. We have no sort of running on the car to figure out how is the car set up, how is the track out there, and at this point we're looking at Saturday morning, getting ready to qualify for the weekend. I think we ended up qualifying 7th out of 12, which was our worst qualifying, I think, in the past 2 years, just in general. So a little bit disenchanting and discouraging, but I knew that we would race a lot better than we qualified. And we were kind of on the back foot from the beginning. So we lined up in the afternoon, starting on the inside row in P7. It's kind of hoping for the best. And this is where things, this is where a wild weekend just turned even more crazy.
We're coming into the final turn.
Entering the VP acceleration zone.
Ready? Ready, green, 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 green. Full course yellow.
Okay, I don't know what happened. I did get hit. I don't know if the car is okay. I had nowhere I could go.
PJ Gronke, and we've got a big incident in the TCX field. That's the pole sitter who is off. That's Pombo. Gleason also caught up in the melee, and a third car as well. Safety car deployed just as the field starts to make its way towards turn number 5.
Really short sprint here. That'll up the anxiety. Let's see how this develops there. I guess Maddie there to the inside on Gleason.
Yes. Just a little overlap. Someone was trying to change lanes, and the chaos ensued from there.
Hey, I need you guys to come to the wall and look at the car. The front, the right side. It's driving, no warnings. I just think I really fucked the toe up. I'm coming up the front straight. I'll get close to the wall. It felt like it was front right hit.
Lucas, it looks like it was rear door, rear quarter panel. No damage, too much damage to the front. So it could have just been, a little bit impact with the wheel turn.
No tire smoke or anything. Looked like it's rubbing.
The fender looked like it had plenty of clearance right now. Obviously, you're in a straight line, so turning, I can't tell you, but it looked okay. Lucas, move in front of car 18. Move in front of car 18, Lucas.
Yep, copy. I thought so.
What did he say about 18, Lucas?
He passed me after the yellow.
Awesome, okay.
Red flag.
And we have a red flag displayed from the starter stand, so this could be an extended cleanup, it sounds like. Perhaps some of the concrete barriers may have moved. Those might need to be replaced. But that is not good news in a race that is already short to begin with, just 40 minutes. Only 26 and a half of those remain, and here goes some of the equipment, the forklifts, to perhaps reposition the concrete barrier.
See, this guy just said I have metal shavings in the rear wheel. Call your team over.
There was a rock between the caliper and the wheel. It was jammed in there. It was grinding the wheel away. That's why there was metal shavings, but we got it unwedged. We had to wait for the race director to give us approval to do that, obviously, to touch the car. You're heading back to our game, though. So focus on, yeah, we got work to do. Let's do it. That's what we came here for. Let's do it.
Approaching the VP acceleration zone, and when he goes, the rest of the TCX field will go with him. Colin Garrett, the Virginian, driving for Rooster Hall Racing. He's got the Japanese drifting ace behind him in Dai Yoshihara. Here comes Garrett, accelerating under the starter stand, and it looked like he got a great jump. The battle now on for the second spot. Yoshihara being swallowed up. BMW swarming by on either side, and the big gainer appears to be Lucas Catania, who jumps up to the second spot.
Green, 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 green.
Joe, let me have this outside if you can.
Because Catania recognizes he's got to cut into that championship lead of Garrett. Garrett realizes he can't afford to let him do that. Seemed like Catania was always the bridesmaid in terms of so many runner-up finishes last year, and finally burst through for that victory earlier this season. So that will give him the confidence to be in this position and go for it.
He has been the picture of consistency this season. Lucas Catania, 5 podiums in 6 starts. And he's in position to make that a 6th out of 7. But I know he wants that win badly. He had to wait a long time to get it back at Circuit of the Americas. And once you've had the taste, the desire only ramps up from there, right?
Yeah, it just takes you a whole new level. You just realize that you can do it. I mean, for so long we just kept talking about it. He's knocking on the door, couldn't quite get it home.
Lucas Catania, Aaron Kaplan duking it out through turn 14. Here comes Garrett out of 14 now, and he just has that long run up the hill, separating himself from yet another win. Colin Garrett, the Virginian, and Rooster Hall Racing take race 1 at Road America. Drag race to the stripe, and Catania holds off Kaplan by 68 thousandths of a second. Here's Lucas Catania celebrating, congratulating Colin Garrett. Those two have been fighting at the front all season long.
They have, and it looked at one point like Luke was going to have a run, and then he kind of got gapped a little bit, and then pressure was on from Kaplan to hang on to a runner-up finish, but great racing.
It was honestly a pretty boring race from a spectating standpoint. We ran all 40 minutes without an incident, which was great, but I basically was just in the wheel tracks of the 44. I think we were basically within half a second to a second of each other for about 30 minutes, 35 minutes, just running nose to tail like we've done all year long. But unfortunately, again, just with the whole pace of my car compared to the 44, just couldn't ever get close enough to actually make a move.
We're coming into the last turn.
Okay, copy, get ready. 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 Green, 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 green.
When he goes, the field will go with him. He does get a jump, but then Garrett accelerates away. Yoshihara getting swallowed up just like he was on the restarts a day ago. Green flag waves here at Road America, and Garrett secures the lead. Catania up to second. Yoshihara has dropped all the way to 6th. Back to the very front. No surprise to see the top two, Colin Garrett and Lucas Catania. These two have been the class of the field most of the season, certainly in the BMW ranks.
Yeah, we talked about coming into the championship season with Jacob Ruud moving on. Should have opened up the door for Colin Garrett to dominate. They're the only two drivers who won last year, but the competition has definitely got a little bit stiffer. Garrett won here yesterday. He has a 40-point championship lead, but only his 3rd win of the season, so it hasn't come easy to him, but he's just continued to keep his head down, grind away, and just try and maximize his point score every single weekend.
front of the field. Colin Garrett feeling the pressure now. Lucas Catania, he's been lying in wait. He's been keeping that powder dry. We've just crossed the halfway mark, and it is time to go.
Garrett's looks pretty stoic in similar situations this year, however, in terms of the lead, and just doesn't crack. Just keeps pounding, just keeps knocking out the laps. Catania's got to make something happen, though. If he's got anything up his sleeve, he's got to try and make it happen. This championship is just going to get away from him. That gap is going to get bigger and bigger in the points unless he can take away such a huge swing. It's a 14-point swing. You're going to gain 7 and take 7 away from the championship leader.
These two know each other well. Raced against each other last year, of course. And it seems like they've been locked together here in 2023 as well.
I think the biggest bummer for us right now is just the straight line speed of my car. It's just noticeably weaker than a lot of the other cars, and we really can't figure out why. So I really wanted to try and document this stuff at the track, but it was just one of those weekends where, yeah, it was just a lot going on, and a lot of times when it comes to racing is something I really take seriously. So my mind has got to be right, and a lot of times that means the camera doesn't always come out compared to something like skiing or biking, where it's a little bit more I'm just having fun, and there's really no pressure, no stakes or consequences, stuff like that. But with racing, as you guys have seen, it can be a very sort of dangerous thing. We're on to Sebring in a few weeks in Florida for the 11th and 12th rounds. So the season is slowly coming to a close, but we're not giving up yet. We should be strong at Sebring in the following round to Indianapolis. So hope you guys enjoyed the little mini recap of the weekend. Thanks for watching. Take it easy, fam. Peace out.